What's the most unique or unusual way you've seen someone earn a living? 1. I have a client who inherited some money from his grandmother, about $150,000. He's in his 20s, so I was certain he'd blow it all. Sure enough, he comes in and says he needs the cash for a business opportunity he and a guy are starting. He's a real Chad type of guy, lives in South Beach, parties, says bro every other word. So naturally, I assumed this was another case of someone about to blow their inheritance and be broke within a year. The guy pleads to keep his account open, swearing up and down he's going to put the money back. I obliged. Months go by, and I see an alert that a wire transfer of $150,000 has come into his account. I'm pleasantly surprised, he kept his word. Next month, $250,000. Then another $250,000, and another. In our business, we're required by regulation to discuss with clients how funds are being deposited and where they originate. So, I called the guy. It turns out he and a friend went to Miami and used his entire inheritance to buy Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and other exotic sports cars. But here's the catch, they're all hurricane cars. None of them work. They've been flooded and totaled by insurance companies. What they do is buy these exotic vehicles that don't work, polish them up, then put them on a wrecker and deliver them to people's houses for 4 hours at a time. There's a huge demand for wannabe influencers to take pictures with exotic cars. He charges $1,000 for 4 hours, letting people take as many photos and videos as they want. Afterward, he loads the car back onto his wrecker and takes it somewhere else. The last time I spoke with him, they had bought a salvaged jet and were redoing it. His entire business revolves around people handing over hard-earned cash just to look cool on the internet. It blows my mind, but at least he's doing well financially. 2. I remember a guy in Berlin who sold stuffed animal holidays. People from America would pay him and send their stuffed animals, and he'd take them on a tour of Berlin in a little old Soviet-era car, taking pictures of them along the way. At the end, he'd send the stuffed animal back to its owner, complete with photos of its trip. 3. I met a man in the UK who flew his hawk once a month over my office parking lot to keep small birds away, and to stop them from pooping on the cars. He spent his days going from office park to office park, flying his hawk. 4. I'm not sure if this is still a thing, but when I went back to college after the army, a couple of guys I went to school with went to China for a few months. They got jobs where they essentially stood around in suits, holding briefcases in the lobbies of corporate offices. Apparently, in China, it makes your business look extra legit if there are young businessmen hanging around. I'm not sure if they worked directly for the companies or through an agency, but they said the money was decent and the job was pretty easy. 5. The museum parking lot attendant. He used to sit in a little booth and collect parking fees for the city council. Worked there for years. One day, he didn't turn up to work. After a few days, the regulars got worried and called the city council to check if he was okay. Turns out, the parking lot for the museum was free, and the council had no idea anyone was charging for it. This guy had set up his own booth, collected parking money for years, and then just disappeared. 6. I knew a barber who lived and worked out of an RV. He'd drive into a town, find a parking lot near a busy spot, and get permission to stay there. He had charisma for days and Lenny Kravitz level style but was also super mild and kind. He'd work when he wanted and always had a line. People didn't mind that he didn't keep regular hours or appointments. Apparently, he had done this for years. Once he got bored in a location, he'd move on to a new city. Easily one of the top 5 coolest people I've ever met. 7. There's this mumbly guy who wears thick glasses. He steals shopping carts, repairs them, and sells them back to the stores. 8. Maybe not crazy weird, but I recorded sound effects for game and movie studios for many years, and still do from time to time.